Most people completely waste their money when first jumping into collecting Pokemon cards. So if you're just getting into Pokemon cards, I'm going to show you exactly what you should buy first so you don't waste your money. And in case you're new to the channel, I'm Vax, and I've opened thousands of Pokemon packs right here on the channel, bought singles, made plenty of mistakes. So everything in this video is actually stuff that I've learned along the way. Things that I definitely wish I'd known if I was starting from scratch again today. So point number one, the first thing I did, don't just start spending a bunch of money on random packs that you know nothing about. Because I did that and I ended up with a ton of fake cards. So it's really important that you actually start by learning. And you're here watching this video, so clearly you've got that under your belt. Give yourself a pat on the back for that. The reality is there's so many scams, fakes, even overpriced product that if you don't know a lot about Pokemon, odds are you're gonna fall for that. It's a lesson that I learned the hard way that I hope I can help you avoid. So once you've done a little research and you understand the basic premise of Pokemon cards, how to spot fakes, and exactly what you're looking to purchase, the next thing I do is buy a couple packs, but purely for experience. I'm not suggesting you go buy expensive packs or even seek out specific sets. Opening packs are a great way for you just to gain some experience, understand what you like, what you don't like, and really just start to get a feel for collecting Pokemon. But to do this in the beginning of your journey, I highly suggest that you buy packs from sets that are just readily available. And right now, the set I would recommend is Perfect Order. It came out recently. It's not in super high demand from scalpers and experienced collectors, but there are some great pulls in it. So it's an excellent place for beginners to start, where your dollar will go a lot further and you can open more packs. Again, just to purely gain experience. And just an FYI, a fair price for a pack, what I look to pay, is between $5 and $7. That's MSRP or a little bit over, but generally that's where you're gonna find your packs. As a beginner, I would not pay any more than that for any pack until you really start to understand specifically what you're looking for out of those packs. Okay, so now you've got some experience, you're understanding the premise around opening packs, you're starting to see what cards you like and don't like. I imagine you've also dug into some social media and you're starting to see cards and other creators pop up to really understand what your goals are as a collector and what you really like about Pokemon. This is when I suggest you start jumping into buying singles. Because in all honesty, buying the specific cards you want, your dollar goes exponentially further than trying to pull that card from a specific pack. It's just the reality of the amount of pulls that are in Pokemon sets now. Pulling a specific card, especially if it's one of the higher rarities, like a special illustration rare, or art rare, or a mega attack rare, you could spend $10,000 on packs and still not pull it. So to fully eliminate that gambling aspect, I highly suggest just buying some cards that you like to really start kicking off that collection. And waiting to do this after you have some experience, it becomes more intentional. It's no longer random. It's actually cards that you know a little bit about, so you know you like them, and you're way less likely to get scammed because you understand the hobby a little more. And just a side note, where I'd suggest you buy singles online, TCG Player from a reputable shop, or eBay. But make sure you've got that authenticity guaranteed check mark on there, since you're a beginner and you don't want to get scammed. All right, now you're really starting to get a grasp for Pokemon, and you know as a collector what your goals are. The next thing I suggest here is to fully lean into that goal. So the reality is, as a collector, you probably want to collect everything, master every set, get a sealed elite trainer box of every single set. You know, you want to do it all. And the reality is, unless you're extremely well off, you just can't. So what I did is I leaned into a few areas that I really cared about. Collecting every card of my favorite Pokemon and collecting a sealed ETB from every single set that has one. Now, this is a long, expensive journey, so I'm nowhere near complete because my favorite card's Charizard. And if you know a little bit about Pokemon by now, you know that there are a lot of Charizard cards and they're very expensive. But those are my collector goals, and I'm in no rush to complete them. I'm taking it day by day, month by month, and it's just keeping me so engaged in the hobby without having FOMO of other people's collections and so on and so forth. I've got my specific goals as a collector. So I hope by now you know what your goals are. It could be specific card types, specific sets, specific eras, specific artists. I mean, the list goes on and on. So now that you've got the premise and the timeline of what I would do step by step, I want to lay out a real world example for you of what I would do if I just started again today and I had $500 to get started. So I would split this money evenly in 3 areas: single individual Pokemon cards, sealed product to rip, and sealed product to keep sealed. Again, assuming you did all the steps already that we talked about in the beginning, the first thing I'd do is I'd spend $100 on singles. $100 on singles can go really far, or it can get you one card. Now, it totally depends on what you're trying to do, but what I would do here, I'd buy 20 or 30 cheaper art rares and illustration rares that I just really think are cool. Immediately, this is going to jumpstart your collection, and you'll get a couple full binder pages of cards you really like. Now, you can keep them and hang on to them. You can use them for trading later. I mean, what you do with those singles is up to you, but it just gives you something to start out with. Now, the next thing I'd do, I'd take $200 and I'd buy sealed product to open. And I'd be very specific as to what product I want, because if you don't know, every single Pokemon set has different cards in it. And you can look on websites like Pokédata or Pokélector to understand what card is in every set. And then from there, you can pick the sets you want to open. Now, I do want to warn you, the sets that have better cards are often much more expensive and harder to get. So I wouldn't go and and buy like a $200 pack right now, I'd try to buy booster bundles or some tins or things where I can get a couple packs, maybe for like $30 or $40. Coming out of this, an ideal situation is you've got about 20 packs to open. And where I'd get these: Walmart, Target, Pokemon vending machines. You've got to be patient if you want to pay MSRP. Now, my last $200, I would also spend on sealed, but I would hold it and save it. And there's two reasons for this. One, it's almost guaranteed to appreciate in value in the future. Let's say you bought an Elite Trainer box for $70 today of a set you like. In 2 years, that could be worth $200. And I'm not saying do this to invest. I'm saying this will help you scale your collection over time. Because if you don't really care about that set, sell it for $200, buy $200 worth of singles you do care about, buy packs for sets you care about. You can just grow your collection naturally over time that way. But the other reason I do this, and I actually did do this when I first started out, if you know about some sets, I started in the late Sword and Shield era. I actually jumped in right when Brilliant Stars launched. And Brilliant Stars has a bunch of Charizards. This is before packs were hard to get to, so I had a bunch of them. I kept some sealed, honestly not really knowing why at the time, but now I've got about 20 packs of Brilliant Stars that I can open for videos when I feel like, and it's such a cool experience to open a pack like that. That brings me back to when I first started again. I understand so much more about pull rates and value of the cards. It's just cool to be able to revisit that set. So that's definitely a reason in itself to just keep some sealed and build a collection over time for you to open later down your collection journey. Listen, guys, if you're just starting out, it absolutely pays to be a student of the hobby. This really is a mindset that I encourage so much. It's going to save you so much money and actually help you build the collection you want and that you're excited about building. So if this was helpful, please drop a comment below and let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My goal is to help beginners like you engage in the hobby and have fun. Catch you guys on the next one.